today's webinar on getting more value from your project drawings. This is the first of 4 in a webinar series entitled How to Improve MEP Project Delivery with Connected Project Data. So before we dive into today's topic on drawings, I'll just quickly introduce myself and then also let Nick introduce himself. My name is Rachel Webster. I'm the Product Marketing Manager for Project Management in Trimble MEP, and I'm based out of our Denver headquarters office. Nick?
Yeah, thanks, Rachel. Hey, everybody. Nick Weaver. I'm a solutions engineer for Trimble and Project MEP. Quick background on me, also based here in Denver, Colorado. Got into the industry working for a mechanical contractor on the pre-con estimating side, and then worked for a vendor for about 5 years, working in commercial HVAC equipment and controls, and excited to be here with Trimble and glad you're all here to join the webinar series.
Thanks, Nick. All right, so you probably saw this when you registered for the webinar, but just a quick highlight of what we're going to cover today. 1, 2, 3, we're going to cover first how to reduce rework with streamlined drawing management tools. Then next, we'll talk a little bit about how to improve communication between the office and field with drawings. And then lastly, how to connect drawings to RFIs, submittals, and change orders for more complete project records. So before I hand it over to Nick, who will show us kind of the nuts and bolts of how this works in the software, we'll just spend a little bit of time diving into each of those. So when you think about pain points with drawings, staying organized throughout the project is probably one of the number one things that a project manager spends time thinking on, and honestly a headache that they have to go through day in and day out. Because what happens if they're not organized? What happens if, say, an outdated drawing is left in the field? Well, we all recognize, and that could mean you're creating rework, which just eats into your profit margins. We all know that MEP contractors already run pretty tight profit margins to begin with. So anywhere where we can eliminate risk like that is huge. And that starts with drawings oftentimes. So next, when you think about moving information between the office and the field, I think a lot of folks, tend to focus on pushing data from the field out to the office, but there should also be an equal focus on getting information from the field teams back to the office. And what we'll share today is the tools in ProjectSight that help you and the team in the field get information, access the drawings that they need, and also communicate back to the office any questions that they have or issues that they run into. And what does this mean for you? It just helps you increase the efficiency of your projects, increase the efficiency of the field teams, keep them working, and, if they can't get the answers from the office that they need, then oftentimes they have to reprioritize, reorient the teams. This just helps you eliminate some of that. Then lastly, we all know that construction projects make information and it just gets everywhere. And organizing all of that can be a huge pain in the you-know-what. But we all recognize that paperwork is just kind of an unavoidable part of construction. But what does it mean as a risk for your business? If you have documents that are not organized and your project records are not buttoned up, what happens if something goes wrong on a project? We all know that MEP contractors don't usually have as many resources to document their side of the story as maybe other construction stakeholders like a GC or, whoever else you could be working with. But with solutions like ProjectSight, which Nick will be taking us through today, makes that part of the process a little bit easier so that should you have a dispute come up after a project, you can go back to your records and you have a complete picture of what happened and when to defend your teams. So when you think about project management, we'll just spend a little bit of time sharing with you Trimble's vision related to connected project management as it relates to an MEP contractor. We have project management solutions, across the construction, but today we're going to be talking about specifically for an MEP contractor. And our project MEP solution allows the operation side of your house to connect and collaborate across MEP teams. So all of the teams that you see on your slide right now, from design and detailing, estimating, fabrication, if that's something that your teams also do, to your field and layout solutions, if you also use any mixed reality solutions from Trimble, and even your financial management if you use a Trimble ERP. With the solution we're sharing today, it allows you to connect with all of these teams so that you can more efficiently deliver your projects. And with ProjectSight, which we'll be spending time on today, ProjectSight gives your project managers and anyone else who's working in the solution complete project visibility across change orders, RFIs, submittals. It helps you simplify your documents and your paper trail so that should, if anything, go wrong in the future, you have a story to back up your business and your teams. And also, what we're going to be covering today, connected drawing management, which includes a mobile solution as well. And with that, I'll hand it over to Nick, who will dive into ProjectSight.
Alrighty, thanks so much, Rachel. We'll go ahead and get started with the demo portion of the webinar here. Let me go ahead and share my screen. All right, so if everything is working correctly, you should be seeing my screen popping up for you here. So what you're looking at here is ProjectSight. This is going to be the main project dashboard for Project Within ProjectSight. As Rachel mentioned, we're going to be talking about drawings and specs. So on the left side of the screen here, we're going to have all of our navigation for our different record types within ProjectSight. We're going to be going to drawings and specifications top there. Once we click into drawings and specifications, we're going to have 4 different options for navigation. We can go into drawing sets or specification sets. So that's going to be where you upload and kind of manage your different revisions for your drawings. We also have our drawings and our specs themselves. So that's where you're going to actually live and interact with all of your drawings and specs. So if we can start in drawings here. Once I go into my drawings module, first thing I want to point out here is the general organization of the system. So I'm sure a lot of you are getting a ton of different drawings throughout the day or throughout the week, and some of those drawing sets come through kind of cleanly organized. They have their name and their description. They're broken out by discipline already for you, but oftentimes that's not the case, right? You have kind of a hodgepodge of a bunch of blank documents, and you might be kind of blindly clicking through, trying to find the drawing that you're looking for, the section that you're looking for. So you'll see here, all of these are going to be cleanly titled and have those descriptions for you on the titles of each of those drawings. The reason that's the case is the system has what's called OCR technology. So that's optical character recognition technology. What that means is when I upload these drawings, I just tell the system where to look on one document one time, and it's going to go through and read all of that information for me. So it's going to grab those titles, it's going to grab those descriptions, it's going to grab dates, different disciplines, things like that. And it's going to organize all of these for me, as you can see here. So a couple benefits there. One is, like I said, it's easy for me to see what different drawings I have here to get where I need to go. I can filter these by different discipline if I wanted to. I can create these different custom views to quickly navigate where I want to go. But the other benefit there is the system's actually smart enough to know if it's seen a drawing before. What I mean by that is, let's say the example where you have your 100% construction documents and then an addendum comes out. That addendum might not affect every drawing in that set, and it can be a challenge sometimes to kind of manage what the most current drawing set is, right? So you might have your 100% CD section, and then you're kind of having to go back and grab your addendum set over here. Or maybe you're kind of building out this Frankenstein combined set of your addendum and your 100% CDs. In this case, the system, when I upload that addendum, for example, I have this drawing A101 that was affected by the addendum. When I put that in there, it's going to say, hey, I've seen A101 before, and it's going to automatically slip sheet that for you. That way, it's going to give you this kind of automatic current drawing set, regardless of how many different iterations or addendums that you have. So one, that saves you time if you're going through and trying to build out that kind of combined set if you're doing it that way. Or two, it keeps you out of trouble, making sure that you're always looking at that most current up-to-date drawing. You're not referencing or building off of an out-of-date drawing. So if we click into one of these drawings, I'll show you some more functionality of the drawing system. So the last thing I'll point out about that OCR capability is it also gives us the ability to have live links on the drawings. So anywhere you see kind of these links that are referencing other drawings in the system, for example, here we have A443. The system's going to say, hey, I know what A443 is. I've seen that before. And this is the live link now. So I can click into that. It'll show me it into a window. If I wanted to navigate there, I can just easily expand that. It's going to pop me into that drawing automatically. I don't have to back out and find it and get back into it. I can just kind of bounce back and forth between those two different drawings based on those callouts. If we zoom out to look at kind of the drawing as a whole, I want to highlight off to the left here we have some different markup functionality. So some of this might look familiar if you're using a PDF editor, something like Bluebeam or something similar. We do have the ability to draw on these drawings. We can put clouds, I can put shapes, I can put different text boxes, I can adjust the color, the opacity, line weight, I can measure those types of things. One thing that might be different is any of these markups that I put in here. So for example, if I wanted to cloud this stairwell, I have the choice of whether I want that markup to be public or private. So if it's something that's just for me, for example, maybe it's a note for myself or a reminder that I don't want to forget, I can set that as public off, and I'm going to be the only one that can see that. No one else is going to have access to those markups. However, if I toggle that to public on, now anyone on my team that's interacting with these drawings or looking at the markups is going to be able to see what I create and vice versa, right? So common thing we hear is project manager might be in the office, they might be marking up their drawing set. Your field personnel, a foreman, superintendent might be in the field, they're doing their own markups. And a lot of time that information and that collaboration is missed, right? What's happening in the office doesn't always make it out to the field. What's in the field doesn't make it back to the office. Right hand might not be talking to left. Here, because you have that ability to make these markups public, you can really quickly, real time, see any changes that anyone that's collaborating on these drawings are making. So we have that functionality for what we might consider kind of the standard markups that you might be familiar with. But you'll see that that's not the only type of markups that we have on this drawing here. So we also have the ability to link any different record types onto the drawing. So what I mean by that, or an example for that, is these submittals here, right? So right on this bathroom section, I can go ahead and just link the submittal for those water closets on here, navigate correctly to those. The reason being, we're living in the drawings, especially in the field, we're living in the drawings, right? And so if I'm keeping these submittals or these other record types in my ProjectSight system anyway, having the ability to tie those to the drawings, easily navigate to those, it can be very beneficial. In addition to submittals, we can have things like issues attached here. I can have different punch items. I can have RFIs. And like I said, if I wanted to explore further on this RFI, all I got to do is just click that expand button. It's going to open that up for me and take me directly to the RFI within the RFI log in the system. I can make any comments here. I can check on the statuses. I can assign those to different users if I want to. I have full functionality just by that click into the system. And then I didn't lose my drawings. Easy, just go back, toggle back to that other tab. I'm back in my drawing here. Final thing I want to show is this blue circle here. So this is actually a link to a model. So we'll talk more about Trimble Connect and what Trimble Connect is throughout the webinar here, but think of it as kind of the file management or file storage backbone of the system. And it has some really great functionalities, especially with 3D model viewing capability. So I can link views from different models directly onto the plans here. I can expand directly to them. I could go into my model viewer and make any changes or see what's going on the 3D model as well. And those are just tied together to that 2D plan. So far, we've only been looking at the web interface for ProjectSight. So ProjectSight is a web-based project management solution. That being said, it's also available for app for both Android and for iOS. So let me go ahead and share that for you so you can see what that screen looks like. So what you're seeing popping up on your screen here, so this is just my tablet that I'm holding in my hand here, and I'm just projecting that screen onto your screen that you're seeing there. So this dashboard here, this is kind of similar to the dashboard that we started out the demo at, just made for an app, right? For easy interface through a mobile app, phone or tablet. And I will say this app is available online or offline. So don't necessarily need to be connected to the internet to be able to access the functionality here. If we wanted to navigate to the drawings, we of course could do that with the tile up at the top. Go ahead and click into there. And you'll see I have access to all those same drawings that I had before. They're still going to be organized, still going to be broken out for me. If I wanted to click into that same drawing where you're looking at, you'll see I still have those same markups that I'm able to collaborate with any of my office users as. So I can look into my RFI, those issues that I had here. I can still open those up as well. I could check in on that RFI, see what the status was, make any changes. But we're not just limited to viewing other records that have already been created on here. Both on the mobile app or on the web interface, you can create records directly from the drawings as well. So on the app here, I have this plus button up at the top here. I can go ahead and click that. It's going to give me the ability to create any of these records. So I can create an action item. I can create an issue, an RFI. For example, if I wanted to create an issue, I just click that, tell it where I want it, adjust my box, click done. Now I'm making an issue. This is going to be tracked in my issue log. I can go through here. I can add different pictures. I could either snap a picture. I could take it from my photo library on my phone or tablet. I can assign it to different personnel. Maybe I'm a foreman on site. I want to assign this to my project manager. All that functionality I can do just from my iPad here. So go ahead and go back to our web interface here, point out a couple more functionality before we hand it back over to Rachel. So I want to direct you to the top of the screen here to point out some more kind of navigational functions. So of course we have the ability to search throughout the document here. We have this comment section. This is going to track any changes, anything that was added or edited by any different users. On this information tab, so we had talked about the ability to always have that current slip sheeted document, right? But we don't want to lose that previous revision. We still might want to reference that. This is where we would do that. I can select my revision. I could go in here. I still have my 100% CD drawing. I could click into that. And what this is going to do is it's going to show me that previous revision, right? I still might want to see this. I still might want to mark this up and interact with it. But you'll notice up at the top, I have this big warning that says it's not current, right? So it doesn't go anywhere. I don't lose my old drawing, but it's really going to keep me out of trouble to make sure that I'm not mistakenly thinking this is my most current set. So we also have the ability to control the layers up here. What I mean by that is I can click into this layers module. If it's getting too noisy with all these annotations, I can hide those different annotations here. I can also filter annotations based on who they're assigned to, what type of records they are. I have the ability to share the drawings up here as well. And then this paperclip icon is going to allow me to attach really anything to these drawings. So we talked about the records. All of those records that are on the plans here are going to show up here as well. I have my issues and my punch items, RFIs that we had talked about. But I can also add other stuff to the drawings. So I can upload different files, whether that's PDFs, pictures, Excel documents, things like that. Obviously, I can link drawings, specifications, models, as we've seen, and then web links. Really anything that we want to attach to these drawings, we have the option to do that there. Final thing I'll highlight in the drawings here, we have this compare functionality here. So all those different iterations that we have, it's common that we might want to kind of look at them either on top of each other or side by side to see what changes might have happened. So if I click that compare, it's going to stack those on top of each other, or really overlay them, and it's going to show me any of those differences that I have here, right? So from here, you can adjust the view that you have here. You can move it around to get that correct, right? I could zoom in, I could zoom out. Once I get that overlay correct set for me there, I can make any fine-tune adjustments with these arrows here. The final thing I want to point out here is this compare function up at the top. So if I go to that compare functionality here and click into here, I have those previous revisions that we had talked about before. And oftentimes I might want to look and see how those things are different, right? Or what has changed or what revisions have been made from the previous set to the new set. So I could go ahead and click compare. It's going to automatically align those for me here. I can say finish alignment. Within my settings, I can adjust the view that I want to have here. Maybe I want to turn off annotations just to see the differences clearly. And here you can see anything that was deleted is going to be shown in red. Anything that was added is going to be shown in blue here. Makes it really easy for me to see anything that changed on those different revisions. So we're going to go ahead and move into specs here. I don't want to spend too much time in specifications because a lot of it is very similar, but there are a couple things that I want to highlight. So we'll go ahead and navigate into the specifications. Again, first thing you're going to notice here, it's all going to be really well organized for me. We have that same OCR functionality. It's going to break these out by division for me automatically. And then I will point out that same compare function that we had, we're also going to have that with our specifications. So I know there's nothing worse on the planet than kind of combing through hundreds of pages of specifications, trying to find the one bullet point or sentence change, trying to keep yourself out of trouble. In this case, I can just click compare. I have those revisions there. And it's going to show those to me kind of side by side. And I can see really quickly on the left here, anything that was deleted in red. On the right, anything that was added is going to show up in green. So that is going to conclude what I had to show here for the drawings and specification section. Kind of go back to the main page here. Really quick, want to highlight, obviously drawings and specs is a really, really important and powerful piece of the system. But as you can see, there's tons of other powerful and important parts to ProjectSight and really the PMEP bundle in general. Please tune into those other webinars. As Rachel mentioned, we're going to dig into a lot of these other functions. And please click that request a demo button. We would love to have you reach out to us directly and sit down one-on-one and kind of see how the ProjectSight and the Project MEP bundle in general can work for you. So with that, I'll go ahead and hand it back to you, Rachel.
Thank you, Nick, for taking us through ProjectSight and the drawing capabilities. Before I close this out today, I just want to share a quote from John Diglio at Unity Electric, which is based out of the greater New York City area, who has been using ProjectSight and the entire Project MEP subscription for some time now. And he shared, to stay at the forefront of our industry, our teams have to be connected in order to deliver more value to our customers. Now that our teams are using Projects MEP, which ProjectSight is included in, we're able to reduce the friction at key points of the project like bid turnover. So we didn't specifically talk about bid turnover today, but I think we all understand that connecting drawings, connecting teams is incredibly valuable, and ProjectSight gives us the tools and capabilities to deliver that to MEP contractors. Thank you so much. Thank you, Nick, for taking us through ProjectSight today. For any questions, feel free to contact us at mepwebinars@trimble.com.